If you're looking to create cinematic basketball videos, improve your storytelling skills, and stand out in an arena or gym full of videographers, then this video is for you. I'm going to talk about camera angles that help tell a cinematic story, camera settings that I feel is subjective, even though a lot of the YouTubers say, oh, you must shoot sports this way, or you must shoot cinematic videos this way. I'm just going to let you know what I use and what works best for me. And I'm just going to share some wisdom that I've learned over the last year shooting sports videos almost every single day. My name is Corey Cash, and I've been a videographer for the last 9 years. And for the last year, I've been shooting Dillon Brooks of the Phoenix Suns social media and YouTube content. For me, there's just something about a good story in sports that keeps me so intrigued and wanting to shoot more sports. So last July, I was shooting at the Toronto Pro-Am. And for those that don't know, the Pro-Am is a basketball tournament where pros of the NBA or overseas in Europe or even high school phenoms come back in their off season and participate in Toronto. Dillon was there, and I was just getting some coverage of him participating in this game. There was about 50 videographers there, and one of them had recognized me for my work and asked me a very, very, very good question. I'm just paraphrasing, but essentially he asked me, what do you do to stand out when we're all shooting the same thing? And I was like, damn, that's a really good question. And with sports videography, it's like everyone that shoots like an important event when it comes to sports, we're all rushing to like put our footage out first. We're rushing to like put these highlights out because, you know, obviously you want to be seen first and you want to get the most reposts, you want to get the most shares. So it just becomes like a race to see who puts whatever out first. Essentially, this is what I said to him. I was like, yo, listen, pretend that there was no videographers here. My bad for cutting in the middle of this video. I just want to let you know one thing real quick. I have a free school community for sports videographers where we share our work, talk about camera stuff, and from time to time, I list paid gigs on there. See you inside. There's no camera footage here, and this was the best event that you've ever been to, and you went home and you had to explain how this event went to your significant other or your parents or like your siblings at home. What would you say? For me, I would explain all the little details to the game. For example, maybe there's a father and son in the crowd that you're noticing watching the game together and they're using their bonding time by being here. Or maybe you know one of the players' parents that don't get to see their kid often play and they're here for the first time because they only get to see them play like maybe once a year. Or maybe you notice someone making a good play and their emotions and they're doing all these hand signals. Or sometimes when teammates are like, going back and forth because the game is so intense, so they're trying to get on the same page. All those little details is something that I would notice at a game if there's no cameras around, and I would go home and explain these details. So I said, if you can imagine all those little details that I just told you, turn on your camera and shoot those things. I could tell he was a little bit taken back by that and said, yo, thank you for the... I say all that to say that there's so many other details than just a basketball game that can make your videography and your piece when you put it online very different than everyone else's because it's your unique story that you're telling from your lens, your eyes. I hope that puts things into perspective on the details that you should be looking for when you go into a gym or go into an arena when you're shooting basketball. So now let's talk about the camera angles that can make your videos more cinematic. Depending on what type of access you have when you're shooting at a gym, when it comes to warm-ups, I like to shoot in close proximities. These angles that I get in warm-ups are typically the non-broadcast type of angles. It's more close-ups. It's more, personable stuff. I try to get something that people don't usually see. And because obviously me, for example, like I was shooting at the Toyota Center last year, we're allowed to shoot up close and be on the court when it comes to warm-ups. But when it comes to the game time, we got to be way up in the rafters. So when it comes to warm-ups, I try to get as many unique things as possible because a lot of people don't get to see players this close. I do like shooting at a low angle because it makes the players look more heroic, more powerful, especially when they're dunking and you can slow that down. It's a type of angle that adds to the story. Like even when like the Jumbotron is in the background, or you see at the beginning of a game when the seats are empty. For me, it shows you the intensity of a game. Like this player's out here before the game. No one's in the gym. They're getting mentally prepared for maybe the biggest game that they're about to have. Also, like I mentioned before, details win stories. I try to get, the ball spinning when someone's at like a free throw. I try to get player reactions. I try to get coaches' reactions. I try to get crowd reactions. Little things that I noticed at this game. I literally try to get everything. Even though I may not use everything, I just want to make sure that I'm adding context to this basketball game. Bench expressions, huddle expressions, cheerleaders, mascots. Those are all things that make our game the way it is today. Also, another thing I do is I use foreground layers. Sometimes I'll be in the crowd and there are fans partially blocking my camera view. However, it still makes for a good shot if you can see most of the court, because it gives a perspective. Just a little bit of a disclaimer: when you are shooting those angles and you're in the crowd and there's people in front of you, you can miss some important moments. Like I remember, man, Cam Whitmore last year, I missed a crazy dunk because a fan was in my way and is walking through, probably went to go get popcorn or a beer or something. And that was so unfortunate because that dunk was so crazy. Another thing too, you always want to be cautious of like being in other people's way as well. So if you have your camera gear and you realize that, you're in someone's way, like move somewhere where there's no one around, because, these people pay for their tickets. You just want to make sure everyone can enjoy the experience and they don't have to like go around you to watch and stuff like that, because that's not enjoyable for them. And it's not fair. The safest angles to make sure you get everything are those broadcast type of angles where like you're either way up top or you're just way far from the action, using your 70 to 200 and making sure no one's in your way. It's nice to mix it up a little and get different perspectives, because even when we watch movies, we don't all watch movies from one angle. When you mix it up a little, it tells a better story for your end product. Another thing that I would recommend is using the center frame when you're shooting. Obviously, TikTok and Instagram use a 9:16 ratio. So I'm always making sure I'm shooting stuff in the middle of the frame so I can have the ability to crop for vertical content later. I'm going to recommend something that you might want to avoid when you're shooting a game. Sometimes you realize when you go into games that the arena or high school gym isn't packed. Like one side may be empty and the other side may have a crowd. When you're shooting, you always want to avoid the empty side, because if you're shooting the empty side, when you go home and play that back, it's going to look like the game is insignificant and it doesn't look good on the players. Like, it's like, who wants to watch an empty game? There's no one watching it in person. Why am I going to want to watch an empty game on social media? So always avoid shooting the empty side. Always make sure you're shooting the side with a little bit of a crowd. Also, when it comes to shooting basketball videos, I'm always making sure, especially when I'm shooting action shots, I'm making sure that I'm keeping the player's feet in my frame. When it comes to crossovers, like if a guy's about to do something crazy and do some type of Iverson or Kyrie crossover, you definitely want to get feet movement in that basketball video. If you slow that down, wow, the way that looks, man, that's going to be a good shot. Now let's talk about camera settings. This is a little subjective because I've shot in many different camera settings, from 24 frames per second to 60 frames per second to 120 frames per second. And my go-to when I'm shooting action shots is 60 frames per second, because I have the ability to slow it down. And I don't like shooting in 120 because I feel like that's a little too slow for me. I turn to crank up my shutter speed to like 250 so the footage is real crisp. However, lately I've been experimenting. I've been shooting 1/48, 24 frames per second just for a more cinematic feel, because I love documentary and sports type footage. And I feel like if it looks too crisp, then it kind of takes away from that documentary type of look. I know maybe many people might disagree with that, but that's just what I'm experimenting with today. One thing is, one dilemma or one crossroad that I'm having, and I mentioned it in my last video, that a lot of gyms don't have bright lights. Like the big arenas have bright lights and they're prepared for, broadcast on the TV. A lot of these high school gyms and college gyms, they're just not like that. So you're most likely dealing with a low light type of setting. And if you don't have a full frame camera, then some of your footage can be harder to use. Although I have the FX30 and it still produces usable footage, I am contemplating of getting the FX3 because I do shoot in a lot of high school gyms and college gyms, and I'm noticing the limitations when it comes to low light shooting. All in all I'm trying to tell you is that when you're shooting a basketball game, pay attention to the details because the details is what's going to separate your work from everyone else's work. All of us see the game differently. So if you found this helpful, please like, comment, subscribe. I read every comment. I try to answer them all, and it helps me come up with the content for future videos. Also, if you're just getting into sports videography and wondering what camera to get and you don't want to break the bank, I made the perfect video right here for you to watch so you don't have to break the bank.